Good morning, students all. Last class we discussed about the 1 mark questions and problems in the electrostatics and electric potential, electric charges and electric potential. Today we will discuss about the 1 mark questions and problems in the current electricity chapter. Current electricity chapter will be important topic. One mark question will come in this. 2 marks question will come. 2 marks question. 3 marks questions will come, and 5 marks problem will come. Okay. 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 6 9, 9 plus 5 14. Totally 14 marks will come from this chapter. We will discuss initially 1 mark questions. What is the important 1 mark questions? We will discuss. First of all, define current density. Define current density. Write down all of you. Define current density. Current per unit area of cross section will be called as the current density. Current per unit area of cross section. Current per unit area of cross section is called current density. Current density formula J is equal to I by A. Current per unit area of cross section, that will be called current density. Next, what is meant by drift velocity? Second question. What is drift velocity? The average velocity acquired by the electrons. The average velocity acquired by the electrons in a conductor when electric field is applied across it is called drift velocity. That will be called drift velocity. So what is the meaning of this? For example, it is a conductor. Every conductor is having free electrons. We created one electric field across the ends of the conductor. Then the electrons in this conductor are drifting with some velocity. That velocity will be called as the drift velocity. The average velocity acquired by the electrons in a conductor when electric field is applied across it will be called as the drift velocity. Next, third question. Define mobility of free electrons. Define mobility of free electrons. How it will defined is the magnitude of drift velocity, the magnitude of drift velocity per unit electric field is called mobility. Drift velocity per unit electric field, that we can call it as the mobility. Mobility will be indicated by the letter mu. This value will be equal to Vd by E. Drift velocity per unit electric field, that will be called as the mobility of the electrons. Next, define relaxation time. Define relaxation time. So what it is, the average time interval between two successive collision of free electrons will be called as the relaxation time. The average time interval, the average time interval between two successive collisions. The average time interval between two successive collisions of free electrons is called relaxation time. The average time interval between two successive collision of free electrons, that will be called as the relaxation time. Okay. Next, question number 5. What is the question? See, write the SI unit of mobility of charges. Write the SI unit of mobility of the charges. Already just now we discussed, formula for mobility will be mu is equal to Vd by E. Okay. So for velocity, what is the SI unit means? Meter per second. For electric field intensity, unit will be volt per meter. This meter will comes to numerator. This second will come to denominator. So SI unit will be finally meter square per volt second. That will be the SI unit for mobility. Mobility formula already we discussed. From that we will get mobility unit will be meter square per volt second. Clear? Next, write the SI unit of resistivity. Question number 6. Write the SI unit of resistivity. Answer will be ohm meter. Resistivity unit will be ohm meter. How this is came means resistivity rho is equal to formula Ra by L. This is the formula for resistivity. This will be ohm. This will be meter square. Length will be meter. 1 meter will cancel here. So it becomes ohm meter. So SI unit of resistivity will be ohm meter. Clear? Next, name the SI unit of current density. Name or write the SI unit of current density. Next question. So, 7th question. Current density formula is what? SI unit answer for this will be ampere per meter square. Current density formula J is equal to I by A. For current unit will be ampere. For area unit will be meter square. So ampere per meter square will be the SI unit of current density. Okay. Next. Define internal resistance of a cell. Question number 8. Define internal of a cell. How we will define the resistance offered by the electrodes and electrolyte of the cell to the flow of current is called as the internal resistance of the cell. Cell is having electrodes. Cell is having electrolyte solution. The resistance offered by the electrodes and electrolytic solution is called as the internal resistance of the cell. So, the resistance offered by the electrodes means plates, and electrolyte to the flow of current is called internal resistance of the cell. Okay, here one cell is there like this. Okay, it is having some electrolytic solution or electrolytic content it is having. These two are two electrodes. When electricity is passing through the electric current is passing through the cell, that cell will offer some resistance to that electric current. That resistance is created due to the electrodes, means metal plates, and also due to the electrolyte. That resistance will be called as the internal resistance of a cell. Clear? Next. Question number 9. Define EMF of a cell. Define EMF of a cell. How we'll define the EMF of a cell? The potential difference across the ends of a cell when it is in open circuit. 2-3 definitions will be there for the defining the EMF of a cell. The amount of work done to move unit positive charge in a closed circuit will be called as the EMF of a cell, or we can write the potential difference across the ends of a cell when it is in open circuit is called EMF of a cell. Okay, like this we can define the EMF of a cell. Next, what is the significance of Kirchhoff's first law? Question number 10. What is the significance of Kirchhoff's first law? In the bracket, it will be current law or junction law. All will be same only. Kirchhoff's first law, Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's junction law, all will be same. It is in accordance with the law of conservation of charge. So answer for this will be law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. That is significance of Kirchhoff's first law. Okay. Question number 11. What is the significance of Kirchhoff's second law? So this will be question number 11. Kirchhoff's, what is the significance of Kirchhoff's second law? This will be voltage law, or it will be called loop law. All names are same only. First law will be law of conservation of charge. Second law will be law of conservation of energy. So answer for this will be law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy, that is the significance of Kirchhoff's second law. Clear? Next, write the balancing condition for Wheatstone's network. 12th question. Write the balancing condition for Wheatstone's network. Wheatstone bridge, already you know about it. When Ig is equal to 0, P by Q is equal to R by S. When Ig value will be 0, P by Q is equal to R by S. If possibility is there, draw this diagram also for better grip on the concept. This is P, this will be Q, this will be R, this will be S. Here it will be galvanometer Ig. It is connected to a battery and tap key. So when Ig is equal to 0, P by Q value will be equal to R by S. That is the balancing condition of the Wheatstone's bridge. Clear? Next, 13th question. What is the principle of meter bridge? What is the principle of meter bridge? Meter bridge principle will be, it is based on the Wheatstone bridge principle. So it works on the basis of balanced Wheatstone's bridge principle. It works on the basis of balanced Wheatstone bridge principle. Okay. Wheatstone bridge network like that. Again, principle no need to write. Wheatstone bridge network. Okay. These one more questions are enough. We'll try to do some more problems in this class, so that we'll get good command on this. Okay. Next, problems you write down. So what are that? See, write down 3 resistors . 3 resistors, 3 ohm, 4 ohm and 12 ohm are connected in parallel. 3 resistors, 3 ohm, 4 ohm and 12 ohm are connected in parallel. What is the effective resistance of the combination? What is the effective resistance of the combination? Next, second one, if the combination is connected to a battery, if the combination is connected to a battery of EMF 6 volt and internal resistance 0.5 ohm, find the current drawn from the battery find the current drawn from the battery and terminal potential difference across the battery. Okay, so three resistances are connected in parallel. What is the effective resistance of the combination? So what to do, see, so three resistances are connected in parallel. 3 ohm, 4 ohm, 12 ohm. What is the effective resistance of the combination? Means 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 12. LCM will be 12 here, 4 here, 3 here, 1. This will be 8 by 12. Then Rp is equal to (12 by 8). This value will be 1.5 ohms. Okay. Next, another thing what they asked here is this combination is connected to a battery. This combination is connected to a battery having some internal resistance. What is the current flowing through it? I is equal to E by Rp plus R. They mentioned battery is having internal resistance. Here E value will be equal to 6 volt. Rp value 1.5. R value 0.5. So this value 6 by 2. This is equal to 3 amperes. They are asking what is the terminal potential difference. I value will be 3. Rp value will be 1.5. So this is equal to 4.5 volt. Okay. This problem asked in 2020 March paper they asked. We'll do the second problem. Okay. So what is the question? See, a network of resistors, a network of resistors is connected to a 16 volt battery, is connected to a 16 volt battery with internal resistance 1 ohm as shown in figure. Write it down. A. Compute the equivalent resistance of the network. Equivalent resistance of the network. B. Calculate the total current in the circuit. simple question only, easily we can answer. This is June 2019. Network of resistors is connected to a 16 volt battery with internal resistance 1 ohm as shown in the figure. Compute the equivalent resistance of the network. Calculate the total current in the circuit. What is the network we will see. I will draw that diagram. First you write this one. Then what is the diagram here is, these are 4 ohm, 4 ohm. This will be 1 ohm. This will be 12 ohm, 6 ohm. What is the effective resistance of the combination? These two are in parallel. Effective of this will be 2 ohms. This will be 1 ohm. 12 and 6 are also in parallel. 12 into 6 by 12 plus 6. How much that will be? 12 into 6 means 78 by 8. 12 into 6 will be 12 into 6 by 12 plus 6. 72 by 18. This will be 4 ohms. Okay, this is 16 volt, 1 ohm. If we write the effective resistance, what will happen? Rs is equal to 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4, 1, 12 into 6 by 12 plus 6. So this will be 2 plus 1 plus 4. This will be 7 ohms. That will be the effective resistance. Another thing they asking, what is the current? E by Rs plus smaller. All are in series. That's why we are taking effective resistance is Rs. So what we will get here? E value will be 16. This is 7. This is 1. So this value will be 16 by 8. This value is equal to 2 ampere. Some more problems will be there. We'll discuss that models in the next class because important models will come in this. We'll discuss that models in the next class. Today we'll stop now.